time to do amendments. I got a couple things. I got a printout of my Kinsey Ag Services list, and I wrote in the numbers for all the different minerals here on the side. I've got a regular old scale so I can do pounds, and I got a cool tiny scale for grams and ounces. I like this one, so I'll talk a little bit more about these when we get going, but I like this one because it includes a calibration weight. It's a 50-gram weight, and these little sensors, like, they get kind of out of whack, especially after shipping. So it's nice to have one that comes with a calibration weight. It's one less thing to buy, you know. Okay, so I've also got a Home Depot bucket. You can use any bucket. And the thing we're gonna do is put all of our minerals into that bucket after we measure them. So except for protein meal, we're gonna do that one by itself because it's so much. And we're gonna need almost all this container. Thinking we'll do 2-pound increments. So a neat form of K-Mag, you can get it, Langbonite is a neat form, which is pretty cool. Yeah, it's basically like soluble potash and magnesium and a little sulfur. So we need 5 pounds of this, which I believe this is 5 pounds. Right on the money. Okay, so the whole bag. Here we go. All right, so that's K-Mag potassium sulfate, 8 pounds. Okay. Makes it easy. And 1 1/4 pounds of copper sulfate. So the whole one of these. Well, this is a pretty color. Boy, nothing says toxic much like that color blue. That's copper. Alright, for sodium molybdate we need 8.75 grams. So we're going to bust out our tiny. Wait for it to zero out. Oh, I probably should put a little thing on it, huh? There we go. Alright, sodium molybdate is 8.78 grams. Oop, that's too much. By like 1/4. So we can scoop some of this out. I feel like I'm in Breaking Bad. Alright, there's sodium molybdate. So with such small amounts, you can just hit the tare function again. I don't know what it is, but it zeroes it out. And then you can add whatever. This is 3.5 grams. This is cobalt sulfate. How much? 3.5. Okay. So you will find this is very hard to mix in a bucket. So use a wheelbarrow. Also, one thing to note, pour this downwind, like the wind is coming in from this side. There you go. Last step. Also you'll see like the powders don't mix that well. It's because of the granular size. So when you're out there, we're going to be going like this to make sure we get a real representative scoop. Right? It's like that. I get a good scoop across a broad spectrum. This does not have to be perfect because we're going to till it in. So you just want to make sure you're in the ballpark. Okay, so we take 1 scoop of our mixed stuff. The only thing that matters is that you do it evenly. All right, so that's 1 whole bucket, and I got like 2/3 of the way through. I'm not going to do another bucket and start there. I'm gonna go to the next. I'm gonna get the whole bed with the same basic coverage, and then do the rest there. That's the thing. You want to get number of rows covered, not length of rows. And this is so you don't completely run out at the end. So what we can do is as we can till, we can move this material out to the end, and it's not the end of the world. It's very hard to move it to another row once it's there. Okay, so next is nitrogen, and you do this separately because you need kind of a lot of it. So as you can see, I didn't quite get, I got like another 10 feet to go at the end. So what I'm gonna have to do is just, when I till, I'm gonna have to like push the material that way to get it there. Conveniently, this is about, yeah, this is about 1 row. So, you know, it's kind of cool. Okay, that's it. Looks pretty good. It's definitely heavier on this side. I think like the gravity is to, when your plate's full, is to dish out more. So I think like the right answer is to do half as much and go like as long as you can, and then figure out what that is. Yeah, I think this is definitely something that you get better with the more you do. So, but you do it every year, so you will get better. It's at least what it feels like. But yeah, like real even bed coverage, that's what you're kind of looking for. And yeah, the next step after this is peat or whatever soil amendments. Another thing you can do if you're gonna mix in clay or sand like we talked about, the fine grain stuff, the stuff that isn't pelletized, you can mix that in with your sand and get a much more even coating. Yeah, I had to go through great lengths to make sure it was even. It'd be way easier to just mix it with sand if you were doing that. But I'm not, so I didn't. Anyway, yeah, next, like I said, is peat. And then we're gonna just kind of till it in. I would normally be doing that right now, but it's getting kind of late. And I don't have any money to buy peat. So my credit card was stolen, so my account's closed. But anyway, so I'm just gonna hang out, watch my cows, and get peat in a couple days. Well, it's the next day. I bought some peat moss, 12 bales. Conveniently, my rows are, well, if you looked at the spreadsheet, it's 4.5 cubic feet per row, which is conveniently a bag and a half. So I just marked out the rows into thirds. I'm gonna put a third of a bag or a half bag on every third. That makes sense. So 1.5 cubic feet per 13 paces is what it ended up being. And it's super low tech, don't have to stress it too much, just to get it done. It's really windy today. It's Texas, it's always windy, at least central Texas. We're clocking constant 13 mile an hour. So it makes filming very difficult. So I'm sorry, we may be going to voiceover and music mode, just because the wind is just unusable. All right, let's do this. Oh man, there's so much peat moss in my eyes. So, side note, all those trees are gone. Well, they're kind of gone. It looks a bit like a deforestation zone. These are all the trees that died from that huge frost 2 years ago. I gave them a year to see if they'd come back, but this is it. Got a lot of cool wood though. It's depressing. This tree had to go. You can see it was rotting. If you remember, the roots are all fungused up. Fungused up, is that a word? I counted the rings, not in the stump, but in the here. And it was between 60 and 70. 70-year-old tree. I hated to do it, but it was rotting. I had 4 arborists come out, and every single one of them said that this here means that it's coming down. It's not a matter of if, but when. These are all carpenter ants. It won't take long for them to just bore those out. So they were right. Can't argue with the experts, but it still hurts. They're gonna come back. They actually broke the loader trying to pull up some of this stuff, so they're gonna fix their hydraulics and come back on Monday and haul the rest out there. These, I've got 4 or 5 of these, depending on how good they are. And I'll probably, like, at some point get a like a small portable sawmill and cut these into slabs, which I think would be super cool. Make cabinets or counters or bars or whatever. I feel like it's kind of a lot of wood. Some of the weird stuff is going to be firewood. Some of the bigger stuff maybe something. I don't know what to do with this, but it is cool. These stumps are so cool. But maybe a little picnic table out there. That'd be fun. Okay, I got this cool disker right here. I got this cool disker set up, and I didn't realize this at the time. It's got all these little holes here on both sides, and I was like, why would it have holes on both sides? These are at different offsets, so you can get all of these very granular positions in here. It's really cool. So I'm gonna use this to knock all that, all the amendments in, all the peat moss, all the, you know, all the rocks, compounds, different stuff. Get that all mixed in. I'm gonna go over it a few times, and this goose is gonna yell at me. So here we go. Okay, there it is. They're pretty. I went ahead and raked them all up. You know, I didn't show that because it's just raking, but they're nice. All the organic matter filled in. They're all fluffy. They're all flat and straight, which is going to be great for seeding. Yeah, that tool makes it super fluffy. You can get in all the, you know, you can churn that peat moss in and all the amendments in. So it's nice. I like it. All right. Well, that's about it for this video of Le Gardin. Stay tuned for irrigation.